Do 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 do. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, this is gonna be odd looking in two places, but we'll see how it goes. We shall see how it goes. I'll give it a second. Okay. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning on the TikTok world. Good morning, Grand Rising. Good day. Happy Tuesday. Happy Mars Day. As always, TikTok is first in the building. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody is doing well. Um, so this is not going to be a super duper long live. I haven't gone live in a minute, partially because my tonsils were swollen. So I had to let my tonsils relax and do what healing needed to be done so that I could actually speak. But I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope Monday was giving what it needed to give. I just wanted to do a quick life update, and then I did do a divination this morning to share with the collective, and I'll do that immediately after the life update. So, some really quick updates. I am I've been mulling this over for a minute. I love doing numerology. It's fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. And I love teaching about numerology. And I realize I love teaching about it more so than anything else. So after this month, I will no longer be offering numerology readings as a service. Um, that's not an easy decision to make, but I just feel like I'm going in a specific direction, and so I decided to go ahead. I'm going to teach it, so I'm going to be offering some self-paced courses. I'll be recording those, and there'll be some self-paced courses that you can take so that you can, dig into your own numerology like I have, but I will not be offering them as a divination service anymore. So if you feel like you want a numerology reading, whether it's one of the ones that I have for business, where I do Alafia, Aburo Boye, Oboshishe, um, whether I offer it as a service, it just this month I will be the last month. So that's number one. I am really excited that my course from self to source with Ifa is beginning in a month. It's just short of 30 days away. You have until the 15th. I decided to extend it out. So you have until May 15th to enroll in the course. I had a nice little business conversation with Spirit, and I was led to go ahead and reduce the monthly cost of the course. And this morning, it came to me a bit more expounding on that about why. I looked at, I checked my analytics and things like that. And so what I realized is between that and who comes and gets divination from me and things like that, my clientele are people my age. It's not that I don't get people younger than me, but my age group, 30, I say a little over 30 to 50, those are the people who most resonate with me. They're the ones who most interact with my content, gender non-specific. If they're in my age range, if you Gen X to really, really early millennial age, those are the people. And the reason I feel like resonate is because I get it. I didn't grow up practicing an ATR. I didn't grow up knowing anything about hoodoo. I didn't grow up with these things. So having a conscious spiritual awakening in the middle of your life can be jarring, can be absolutely jarring. And so I understand how to speak to that. And then my coursework and how I teach and how I present information is presented in such a way where you don't feel like you're behind. It's not, you don't feel judged. You don't feel like I'm asking silly questions because you didn't grow up with this. This is not something you grew up with. And it can also be frustrating because you feel like you're looking at the other generations and if they're significantly older than us, they had the information and maybe didn't share it because of whatever reasons for protection. And then the even younger generations are getting it now. And so we're kind of caught in this middle place of, well, what about us? And I don't want people to get stuck on their age because that's what I did. And so, because I know what that feels like and I know what I did to work through it, then that is my intention with my course, is to help them work through it. So, that's the other reason I designed my course. That spiritual mentorship program is group and one on one. So I've designed it in such a way where you get the benefit financially of being in a group program, but you also get the one-on-one support. So we meet bi-weekly as a group and we meet bi-weekly one-on-one so that you will have the opportunity to discuss your personal growth goals. What do you want? The course is from self to source with Ifa, because whether you choose to go to an Orisha tradition or not, the tenets, the fundamentals of Ifa are something that can resonate with anyone. If I didn't tell you anything about them being associated with Ifa, but I said them to you, you're like, okay, I can get with that. I can rock with that. I can jive with that. So that's why I leverage them. Plus, Ifa is the reason why I have the audacity to love myself, the audacity to be myself, to do the things that I love, to honor where I'm going, where I'm moving. And so the course is from self because it starts with you. It starts with you honoring yourself. It starts with self-love. And as you progress, you'll realize every aspect of your spiritual journey truly is rooted in self-love. Ifa simply gives me structure to how to do that. So, like I said, that is still, the enrollment window is still open until the 15th. I extended it. I reduced the course price to only $125 a month. If that is still something that you're not able to manage monthly, but maybe you can do it weekly or bi-weekly, you simply have to inbox me and have a conversation. I know how to switch the plan to make it where you can pay it in a way that is useful for you. And then also and I've designed the course in such a way where a lot of times, sometimes, because some of us come from traditions and religions and practices where it's dogmatic, it's this way or no way, or otherwise you're wrong. And what I love about coming into this practice and for myself is it's a way, and you will have your way. And that is why Ifa allowed itself to have so many different children with so many different expressions. It's not an accident. It's like, oh my God, we accidentally created all these traditions that look different. That's just like saying God accidentally had all these names and God didn't know what was going on. No. There's intention behind that decision to have expression in a multitude of ways because God is infinite. And thus it is expressed in an infinite way. So that's that is the life update, and I shall sip. Ooh, that might even be too small for her. Oh, I might need to make that a bit bigger. We're about to see. Hold on. That might be for a baby. Okay. So this morning I was like mulling it over, and I said I had not done like a collective message. Thanks, Uber. A collective message. And so I sat at the mat and I was just like, I asked, I was like, what do you want me to share this morning? What Odu has the medicine that will resonate with the collective regardless of what their practice is. And I was like, Shango was up this morning. So Obata Meiji was what came up. And I thought that was really cool because someone reached out to me this morning to ask me, do I do inner child work and shadow work? And for those that do not know, I'm going to break this down in ways that you can understand. So African traditional religions is kind of a misnomer. They're spiritual sciences. And so a lot of them have metaphysical concepts to explain and help you go through and navigate the energies throughout your night. So in this particular instance, the metaphysical concept associated with Obata Meiji is your inner work. This is your heart work. This is your inner transformation. This is you digging deep into the recesses of your being and analyzing and having introspection about who you are, who you truly are, who you know yourself to be on the inside, not who you have allowed yourself to be on the outside, but who you want yourself to be on the inside. And the thing is, it happened so perfectly because I was finishing up just jotting some things down for the Odoo I got the day before and doing a lot of talk about the Ori. And a lot of people, the concept of Ori in some traditions is called your star. But this is your inner being. This is your inner self. This is the part of you that remembers its oneness with source. This is a part of you that remembers its limitless nature. This is the part of you that remembers its connection to the divine, its connection to the divinities, the connection to everything and all things. It is a part of you that is most you. It's a part of you that is most you. And when you go through the journey of your life, this is what's so beautiful about the Odoos is that they are a journey. They are telling a story. And so by this point in the story, you have gone through some changes that you didn't expect. You have gone through different things happening in your life that were really, really unexpected. But what has happened is you're here. The change didn't take you out of yourself. The change didn't it wasn't simply about upheaval. It was about what are you going to do in the face of change? Who are you really? How are you going to show up when you are in the face of change? My phone rang at 11:11. Who are you in the face of this change? And that question starts to become answered in Obara Meji. That question starts to become answered in Obara Meji. It starts to show you, okay, I went through all of this and I'm still here. I went through all of this and I'm still here. I'm still here. That means I still have things to do. I still have a ways to go. I'm still moving forward so that I can grow in my path, in my journey. This did not stop me. This did not stop me, and I'm still moving forward. The way that Shango is with me forever reminds me that there is always more than one way to get it done. Because this Odoo talks about confusion. It's like, I got all this stuff going on because you had all this stuff going on. You're like, what am I supposed to do? Which way am I supposed to go? How am I supposed to get through this? And a lot of times what I do is sit and ask, which way is my path of my light? See, here's the deal. At the beginning of your journey, prior to your birth, you wrote your story. You and the Most High, you and the Creator, you and Source, y'all sat together like, hey, I'm going to Earth. I'm hopping in a vessel. What does this need to look like? What challenges, what obstacles, what blessings, what everything, every single possible story, outcome, pathway was written. All of them were written. And that's the thing, a lot of times, sometimes we have to realize all of the pathways are written. The thing that's in stone is our birthday and our transition day. That's what's in stone. Everything else is fluid. Why? Because we wrote like a billion different possibilities for how this thing is going to play out. We're in a billion different ways that this could play out. There are infinite possibilities on how your decisions are going to manifest in your life. So then when you get to this place, like, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that. And what we end up always thinking, especially for those of us who were raised in an Abrahamic faith, is I don't want to make the wrong decision. I don't want to make the wrong decision. And the truth is, every decision has already been made. Instead of quantifying it as a wrong decision, which decision is the best decision? Which decision is the one aligned with ease? Which decision helps me avert upheaval as best as I possibly can? Which is that decision that's going to keep me energetically light? That's how we need to look at the decision. It's not that the decisions we make are wrong, because at the end of the day, you cannot F up. Because you wrote it. You wrote it. Do you honestly feel like, though the Most High has embodied you in physical form, you are an aspect, an extension of Source? Do you honestly think you can pull one over on God? Like, I'm going to make this decision. God didn't see that coming. Seriously? No. The truth is, God saw all of it coming. Your free will is decide which way you want this to go. I hate to say it like this because, anyone that's seen the Boondocks is going to laugh, but it's the best way to say it. You could do this the easy way, or you could do this the hard way. You could do it the easy way or the hard way. The choice is ultimately yours. And with Shango, it is a double-sided axe. Which way are we going to cut? Do you want me to cut this the easy way or the hard way? Which way are we going? And that's the truth. Like, you make the choice, but I'm going to show you. If you want to know the easy way, I will help you see which way is the easy way. I will help you see which way is the light way. And so when I make a decision, I don't say, what is my right way? What is my light way? Which one is the lightest path for me? Which one is the one that's most aligned with ease? Okay. Which one is the most aligned with ease for me in that moment? How can I move through this in the way that is most aligned for me, that is going to lead me to my peace, that is going to lead me to my prosperity, that's going to lead me to my abundance, that's leading me to my wealth? How can I get this done the easy way? For me personally, Spirit has been calling me to stand in my divine feminine more. And divine feminine energy does not push, it pulls, it attracts, it draws. It is still in the knowing, because divine feminine energy is what allows us to know our oneness with Source. Divine feminine energy has no boundaries. It allows us to know our oneness with Source. It is not tied to the physical. It's not tied to time. It's not time to space. It is boundless and endless. It remembers who it is in relation to the divine. And thus it already knows all of the things, all of the desires, all of the hopes, all of the dreams, all of the blessings, all of these things are already meant to be. It is simply sitting in this knowing and allowing and listening for when it is time to slip into its masculine and make a move. And for me, I've been personally being called to allow, to attract, to rest in my Empress energy and know that I am abundant and prosperous and going to have all that I desire. When we're in this space right now where a lot of us have gone through a transformation by fire, and I don't mean that in a literal, like those flames and stuff, but for some that might actually be literal. What it means is that you have stood in the face of that which probably would have taken you down in any other circumstance. You have stood and you looked in the eye, the thing that scared you the most. You have stood and you looked in the eye of the thing that worried you the most and said, all right, you're here, but I'm still here. I'm still here and I'm still going to get the job done. I'm still here and I'm going to get the job done. I'm going to be here and I'm going to get the job done because I work, baby. And because of that, because of your resilience, because of your fortitude, because of your ability to walk through the door and accept what is and go at it with intelligence, go at it with humbleness, go at it with integrity, prosperity wants to come to you. If you are someone who has been struggling financially, if you feel like, because a lot of times people hear poverty and what we think poverty and we think about people on the street. Poverty is, can you get your bills paid without struggling? Poverty is, I paid all my bills and I have nothing left. So don't think about it in that visual sense. Think about it is, if you paid all your bills today, could you go and just go out to eat in a restaurant and not worry about the money? If that's not where you are, then this applies. So don't think about it as, and it's also a mindset. It is, I can't do this because there's not enough money in the world for me to be able to have more. I can't do this. It's a lack mindset. If you've been in this place, what you understand is that time is ending. That time is absolutely ending. For those of you who have a spiritual practice where you give offerings to whoever your spiritual team is, now is the time to give those offerings and give thanks because this is ending. This is innate. And it asks for you to have empathy, because having that empathy for others allows you to remember, stay humble. Because just because your poverty doesn't look like theirs doesn't mean that it could not eventually look that way. Stay humble, have empathy. Do not judge people, because you don't know what's happened. You don't know how things transpired, and you never know who is in a certain space. I know there are people who worked with me for months who didn't know I was sleeping in my car. I didn't make a big deal about it. I came to the job clean, dressed, and everything. That's all anybody knew. They didn't know I was like not having a place to sleep in the middle of the night, that I had to wait till in the morning to get some place to shower and iron my clothes and things and then come to work. All they knew is that I got to work, I got the job done. But so you never know what somebody is going through. Make sure you operate in humility. So when we talk about humility, let's talk about what it's not. Humility is not playing small. Humility does not mean you need to dim your light to make other people comfortable. Humility does not mean you are diminishing yourself because you feel like if I allow myself to shine, I will outshine somebody else. That is not what humility is. Humility is, I do not have to announce that I am the sun. If I already know I'm the sun, when I walk in the room, they see how bright I am. Ain't nobody got to tell you the sun is out. The sun simply just is. The sun doesn't have scroll on it, S-U-N. So you know that with ease. I gotta say nothing. You ain't gotta say nothing. And when you do say something, you don't have to say it in such a way to make others feel small. Just simply it is. Because sometimes we are in a position where we have to say, hey, I'm excellent at dot, 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 dot. That doesn't mean that person is less. It just means that you simply know who you are. So we have to avoid that boastfulness that you couldn't possibly be like me. Like that. Of course, they already can't be like you. You ain't got to announce it. You do not have to announce they can't be like you. That's an obvious fact. There's no need to say it. When you feel like you have to announce that you are more than somebody else, this is where boastfulness comes in. You could simply state, I am. I am excellent at this. I am phenomenal at that. This is what I am. It has nothing to do with who they are. It has nothing to do. There's no need to compare. Comparison is a thief of joy on both sides. On both sides. So avoid it, because this can come in a negative manifestation if you do not stand in your humbleness. It made me think, I made a note, I was thinking about the sign of Leo. Hi. I was thinking about the sign of Leo, and I was like, a Leo, when operating in their truest essence, does not have to say they're a Leo. A true Leo and operating in their truest essence, no one has to tell a Leo doesn't have to tell nobody they're a Leo. Because when they're operating in their truest expression, they automatically shine. They're automatically gregarious. They're automatically friendly. They're automatically lovely to be around because they are ruled by the sun. They shine brightly. No one has to tell me that a Leo is a Leo, because if they're operating as themselves, I will already know. So that's what it means to be not boastful. Let your ashe, let your energy speak for itself. When it's time for you to say something, absolutely say something. It doesn't mean give your power away. If you were the person that led an idea, had a project, by all means, say that joint. Say it with your whole chest. It simply means you are not belittling everyone else. Well, I hope you feel better today. And understand it's a day and a moment, and allow yourself the grace to sit and see why you feel that way and what energy needs to be moved so that you can shift it. But honor your emotions and allow them to move up from that depression into something else. I hope your day gets better. So I already talked about the state of uncertainty. and making sure that you are allowing yourself to see which decision is your decision of light, and understanding that there is not a wrong decision. You cannot pull one over on the Most High. Oops, I went the wrong way. No, you already decided at some point you would possibly go this way. It just wasn't the best way. Turn on your internal GPS rerouting, and you go back and do it again. That's the beauty of the thing. That's the beauty of the thing. If you have any projects in your head, so if you have any ideas, projects, initiatives, act on them. Any projects in your head, any ideas that you're trying to bring forth from the idea realm into the physical realm, it is time for you to act. It is not time for you to be still. It is time for you to act. It is time for you to bring them out of your head and do something. And when I say do something, I don't want you to feel like you have to manifest the entire thing in one moment. Take a step. Take a step. If you have a book in mind, put the title, go to your computer, laptop, whatever, put the title of the book by you on a piece of paper. If you want to host an event and you don't have a website, but you got a Facebook, then start structuring the event in Facebook. Even if you don't tell nobody about it, just simply get it out of your head. Get it out of your head. If you are trying to create something and you need to map out how it's going to look, how it's going to unfold, map it out, put it on paper, get it in some form that is physical, so it is no longer in your spiritual vessel of creativity. It is now in the act of creation because you've put it in a physical form on paper. For those of you who are entrepreneurs, business owners, it's a good time for business. It's a good time for business. But if you're trying to increase your business, you feel like it's stuck, increase your business. Like I said earlier, if you have a spiritual practice where you are giving offerings to your spiritual team, now is the time to give offerings specifically around the increase of your business, increase of your network, and increase of your social status. Because right now, I want a great energy to be rewarded. If you've been planning a trip, it says this trip is going to be successful. Give thanks for that. See, a lot of times people are the decision, the energy regarding what you were going to do, one way or the other, is already there. An offering is simply an exchange of energy to do this. You give the offering, let's say you're on this way, and it's I'm not really feeling this path. You give the offering, it helps your GPS reroute. It is a physical thing so that your physical mind says, oh, something good is about to happen because I did this thing. It is not simply about you giving something away. It is something that tells your physical mind, because our physical minds are very visual. Our physical minds need to see something tangible. So when you do something like an offering and an Evo, this is telling your physical mind there's going to be a shift in energy, and that allows you to be open, malleable, receptive to how spirit wants to move in order to shift the energy in your favor. It's not simply about the thing, because what you will do and notice if you have a habit, for me personally, let's say my Evo is something physical. I got to get something from the store or whatever. The moment it's in my bag, I've paid for it, I immediately get a sign, a symbol, a synchronicity to tell me, accept it. Immediately accept it. Because I took the time to take the steps to get the thing. Spirit is already saying, thank you. We got you. We on it already. Me putting it on my altar, that's just making it official. It's just making it official. They've already started. They've already started the work. They've already started the thing. The moment I've got it in my possession, it's already started. It's already done. So understanding when you're working with your spiritual team, pay attention to those things, because they may already be telling you, thank you, we're on it and you don't even realize it. I told you about travel. I told you financial difficulties. I'll call her back in a minute. Told you financial difficulties are going to subside. We talked about not being self-centered and greedy. If there are new people coming into your world, into your life, be mindful of the company that you keep. Be mindful of the company that you keep. This is not to say put up a wall and say no new friends. That's not what this is saying. This is where discernment and intuition have to come into play, especially now with Mercury being in retrograde. Mercury being in retrograde is where we have to lean into our intuition because our mind is going to be fog. That's perfect timing. That's perfect timing. I just now thought about that. Mercury going into retrograde makes our mind foggy and makes things confused. Mercury's in retrograde in the sign of Taurus, though. That means there are the ideas that have been in our head. Taurus is an earth sign, physical, that need to come into the physical. Thank you. This is how we know everything. It went into retrograde on, I want to say the 17th. Hold on. Give me, and it's in retrograde until June, but hold on one second. I'll tell you because, technology, I can, Mercury retrograde. It just started April 21st until May 14th. So, and it'll be in shadow at least 2 weeks after May 14th. So I'll say by end of May is when the cloud should clear. But it's in the sign of Taurus. So just like this Odu said, where things are confusing right now and you're struggling with making decisions, this is where you lean into spirit. This is when you lean into your spiritual practice. This is when you lean into your intuition. This is where you lean into your Ori and say, hey, what are we doing? What's going on? What's popping? What are we doing? Which way should I do this? How can I do this so that I can, make the light decision, not the right decision. Make the light decision. Which way this going to go so it aligns me to ease? Which way is going to make me the most successful? Leaning into it in that way. And because Mercury is like, hey, you can listen to your head if your physical head if you want. You need to listen to this head, that intangible one that knows, that already sees. That's what your intuition is. Your intuition is, I know all the past that we wrote. We wrote this. You and I, we wrote this together. Your intuition is like, hey, I know in your choose your own adventure book of your life, you could go this way, but it would behoove you to go that way. You could go this way if you want to. It's not a wrong decision, but this is a better decision. And it may be an uncomfortable decision, but it's still the better decision. You got a choice on whether or not you're going to follow the easy one or the uncomfortable one, which is also the easy one. So pay attention to that. So when it comes to people, when you're making new connections, because again, earlier on, we talked about business, you're trying to manifest more people making these connections. All money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. Understanding when, understanding when people come to you, when they come to you and you're like trying to be in your life, some people are going to bring trouble. That just is what it is. It's a test. It's a test. Don't take it personal. They had a role that was given to them in this life. And in this particular role, it could be to test you. It could be, hey, I'm going to come and bring some trouble and see if they paid attention. Did they pay attention to the message? Did they pay attention to the message? And so now it's like, okay, cool. I know my intuition is going off. Alarm bells are ringing. This person, nope. All money ain't good money. All money is not good money. So just be mindful of people coming into your circle that are meant to bring trouble. Mercury retrograde, them exes are coming to test you. Them exes are coming to test you to see what you've learned. Now, this is not to also say, once again, that all exes coming back are toxic. Some have elevated. Some have had growth. discernment, intuition, speak to your spiritual team to discern, is this person coming to test me or bless me? Both could be true, but which one is it? Y'all get it. If there are people who you feel like were in your life, if you felt abandoned in some way, like, I don't know what happened, it just ended, and you feel lost, you feel abandoned, speak with your spiritual team. You may need to give an offering to see what you can do to reconcile and bring those people back into your life if they're meant to be there. If they are meant to be there. If you have a clique, I just heard Jay-Z, ain't nobody my clique. If you have a clique, a group that you hang out with, that you spend time with, that these are your people, and you are making decisions in how you move based upon the whims of your clique, stop it. And I know that's hard, because sometimes we realize as we're making these moves and making these decisions, it is calling for us to move from our cliques. And that's okay. Speaking from experience, that is absolutely okay. It doesn't mean that they're ending. Hello, beautiful. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. It doesn't mean any of those things. But right now, you are in a place of inner transformation, and you need to be focusing on you. You need to be gentle with yourself. Gentle with your heart work is not easy work. Heart work is not easy work. My ELO, they said this is one of the hardest odus, because introspection ain't easy. Heart work ain't easy. Leaning into say, okay, I got to look at myself right in the face and say, okay, where am I messing up? Where am I faltering? How much of this is on me? A spiritual journey will like put you in the driver's seat of your personal accountability. You will realize all of these choices, all of these decisions, all of these paths were ultimately me. And that ain't a nice place to sit in. That's not fun. There's no ooh, like maybe the toxic person is me. Oh gosh. Oh no. So be gentle with yourself. This is not about beating yourself up. This is about facing who you are, acknowledging who you are, working on the things that need to be worked on so that you can transform and ascend. So that you can transform, so that you can ascend, and so that you can be the best version of you, your favorite version of you, your highest version of you, whichever way you want to name yourself. You're lining up to that version of you that is the most prosperous, the most wealthy, the most well-known, the most successful. That's where you're trying to go. That's what you're leaning into. If you are married, married, cooperate with your spouse. Again, this is an Odu that talks about the heart. Cooperate with your spouse. This ain't the time to be beefing. This is a time to be communicating. Cooperate with your spouse. Cooperate. If you single, if you still out here mingle with intention to settle down. It would behoove you. Mingle with the intention of settling down. So let me qualify this a little bit. Everybody's love journey is different. There are people you are meant to love in your life only for a season. I'm going to say that again, because sometimes, like my fellow womb holders, we need to hear this. There are people we are meant to love in our life only for a season. Only for a season. They are meant to come in and show us something, or we show them something. Sometimes we don't even realize we are the catalyst of growth in some people's lives. That's the journey, that's the contract we wrote. We are the catalyst for growth in some people's lives. Be open to your love journey, but also be intentional. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm open to love. I'm open to receive it. I want to have it. I want to settle down. I want the house. I want the family. I want the kids. I want all the things. I want all the things. So put me on the path that's going to bring me there, once again, with ease and understanding there's not a right choice, there's a light choice. There's a less light choice, there's a heavy choice and a light choice. Which way is it going to go? But do these things with intention. do these things with open heart and a discerning mind, so that you can, this is not right, so that you can partner with the right people, at the right time, and understanding that if it is meant to end, it doesn't have to end in such a way that is upheaval. It doesn't have to end in like, oh my gosh, my heart is devastated. What am I supposed to do with myself now? It doesn't have to end that way. It absolutely does not have to end that way. It could simply be, you know what? You were a good bit of the qualities, me and my fingers right now today, you were a good bit of the qualities that I want in a partner. So I'm just going to give thanks for all of the various ways you showed me that you are potentially like the person that I know I'm going to marry. You're just not completely them. And that's okay. It was cool while we spent this time together, but it's time for me to move on. And you let God know, like, hey, all right, you know what? You had all these things, and that all these things were great, Lord. So let's see if we can add in a little sprinkle dinkle of you fill in the blank. But now is the time. If you've been single and you're just like, I'm tired, cool. That's the message. It's time. Go ahead and open yourself up to the possibilities of settling down and having the family that you want. There's prosperity there. There's absolutely prosperity there. For those that are looking for prosperity, wealth, riches, things like that, these things come through this Odu, through Oshun. Most people, even if they don't know nothing about no other Orisha, have heard about Oshun. Sweetwater riches, but she is not simply wealthy for the sake of being wealthy. Oh yeah, she's lavish, abundance, and prosperity, but she's also a humanitarian and gives to the poor. It puts you in a position where you are so wealthy that you can give and it don't bother you. The wealth where you can give to others and help bring them to a state of wealth because it ain't gonna bother you. She understands wealth is not simply what's in the bank, but understanding that the divine knows you still need money in the bank. Like some people are like, I can't ask for money. Why? God knows you still got to pay rent. God knows your bills are due. So she was going like, hey, I will help you. I will help you get the prosperity and the wealth that you need to make sure that all of your needs are met and all of your desires are kept. You have money in savings, but you also need to give as you receive. When you get to that place where you are comfortable, where you have that financial freedom, where you're not worried, you know, my bills are paid, I got this done, I've got this done, I'm okay. Give, pay it forward. Pay it forward. For those who feel called, you could give an offering to Oshun. You can inbox me. We could talk about that. But like I said, don't focus on the wealth. Don't focus on showing it off. Like you made all this money. You get a check. Like if you manifest money, you get a check. What you don't need to do is do a video showing a picture of your check. Don't do that. Just be thankful. Do a video saying, I'm so grateful that I said my prayers, I did this, I did that, and it manifested, and leave it at that. And just leave it at that. But don't focus on the vanity and things like that. And vanity just is having for the sake of having. It doesn't mean anything. You could desire to get your nails done, because I do want to get my nails done. I want to get my nails done. You know, she was like, okay, let's see what we can do about that. Because I know it's just, yet that's not your big focus. It's just a nice to have. I'd like to get my nails done. Definitely toes. I can't put these toes on nobody with them looking like this. No. So like, okay, let's do what we desire. Why? Because I like to give too. When I'm in a good place financially and I have money and everything is flowing easily, I give to the homeless. And I give them things like money oil, prosperity oil, self-love oil. I give them things. I give them spiritual baths. I give them things that they can use not only to help them to gain more prosperity, but also their wellness. And I was looking at something in the Odu and made me think about unexpected blessings. So be cognizant of things like gifts being given to you. And you're like, why are you giving me this? Accept it. Why are you accept it? Accept it. There's a story in this Odu where Olafine has these pumpkins And they cut the pumpkins open and put all this. One's got money in it, one's got like fine clothes, all these different blessings and things are in these pumpkins. And then they seal them up and they just hold on to them. And they end up giving them to Obada. And, you're looking at the pumpkin. It's a pumpkin. I'm like, what's supposed to do with that? It's a pumpkin. But what ends up happening is Obada accepts it, takes it home. And the wife is like, why do we even have these? Obada sits them and like not sure what to do with them. But one day Obada is hungry. So Obada gets ready to cut the pumpkin open and boom, money flies out of one. What the heck? So then goes to all the rest of them, money, clothes, all these fine things not only to keep them, but that you can sell. So then the generation, thank you. Me and my swollen tonsils. It's not simply money to have, but then you can flip it. What I like about those stories is that grand rising, greetings. It's not simply, I'm going to give you this thing. I'm going to give you this thing where you can continue to build wealth. I'm not going to give you wealth that stops, because that's not wealth. That's just money. That's a Band-Aid. That's a fix. In every story I've ever read where someone was given an item, given something, the something that was given is something that you can build upon. So they got the pumpkin. So this is food that can last. They can take the seeds out of the pumpkins, buy more pumpkins and sell pumpkins. All of these things end up being something that triggers something else. Earlier when I talked about giving your offerings, and that the giving the offering is simply not the catalyst of the blessing. The blessing is already yours. You're already worthy of the blessing. It's a thank you for the blessing. And it's also helping you to reroute your GPS to make sure you are aligned to the blessing. It is something that makes your physical mind, your physical eyes see this, and it tells your physical mind, I did this. I put this thing on my altar. I did this thing. I completed this task. So I know this thing is going to happen. And thus it makes you energetically receptive to what's going to happen. And a completely different, one of my favorite stories is these two people both want to get married. They both want to get married. The dude wants to get married. The chick wants to get married. They both want to get married. They both go receive divination. And they're both told to give offerings. Ultimately, they're both told to give the exact same offerings. They don't know this. They don't know each other. So because they were given specific offerings, they had to go to specific places. See, sometimes it's not about the journey. It's not about the Ebo. It's the journey to get to the Ebo. It's the journey to get to it that ultimately leads you to the blessing. So they're both out going to the various markets to get it. But there's this one particular item. It's only at one place. They both have this item on their list. It's only at one place though. So what happens? They both end up at this place trying to get this one item. So they're both like, yo, I need this. I need it too. I got to give it as my Ebo. I got to give it as my Ebo too. Okay, hold on. Or we could talk one off. We could schedule. I'll do a general basic answer for you, but if you want to talk in more detail, we could schedule some time. But both of them want to give the offering. So they're both kind of going back and forth. And Ashu shows up. And they're like, what's going on? And they're like, I got to give this offer. The woman's like, I got to give this offering. I want a husband. I want to have some babies. Dude's like, I got to give my offering. I want a wife. I want to have some babies. And Ashu's like, so y'all don't see it? Y'all don't get it? Y'all can't see what we did here? Okay, cool. Give me this. Thank you for the offering. Let's go and marry you two. Husband meet wife, wife meet husband. So they go give their offering together, ultimately get married, having the kids, and all of the things. So that's it. Sometimes it's not about you giving, it's the actions you take leading up to the giving. That is where you find the blessing. So pay attention to those things. So inspired action based on this. And if y'all did not catch the whole Odu and the message and everything from the beginning, You can watch it on my, if you're following me on Facebook, you can watch it on Facebook, or you can watch it on YouTube. By the time I'm done, give it like 10 minutes for YouTube to process, and you can watch it from the beginning. But inspired action. Sit with yourself today. Obata Meji is all about that inner transformation. Sit with yourself and really sit with who you feel, not think, feel yourself to be. Don't do titles. Just feel characteristics, adjectives. Who do you feel yourself as? Who do you feel yourself as? And just write them down. Just write it down. Inspired action. Reframe how you make decisions. If you are in a place where you're confused about a decision, then reframe it. One, don't ask what is the right way. What is the way that leads me to my light? What is the way that leads me to my ease? What is the way that leads me to the favorite expression of who I am to be in this world? That's how you ask for it. And then for those of you who are like, I need to know that I got the right answer, I'm going to give this to you in a way that doesn't matter what your tradition is. This is going to work. You sit with you and your most high and your higher self, and you say, hey, if I'm supposed to do whatever the thing is, show me this. And you have to be open to receive the message in whatever way it's going to manifest in your physical reality. But if this is what I'm supposed to do, show me this. If it is not what I'm supposed to do, show me this. One day I was just like, hey, I'm thinking about doing ... If I'm not supposed to do it, show me repeating sevens. If this is wrong, if this ain't the way to go, it's like, abort mission, sevens. If it is, show me, I forgot what the other number was. And I just paid attention. I just paid attention to how it was going to show. And I was driving down the road and somebody's tag had repeating sevens on it. Cool, not do it. All right, there's that. Be open. If you ask for something like an animal and you don't live around no animals, I'm going to need you to be open to the possibility. Out loud. Put it on the wind. Put it on the wind. I have an Orisha tarot deck, and one of my cards says, Spirit is hard of hearing. Say it out loud. And it's not that Spirit is hard of hearing. The wind is your power of the word. Your Ofo Ashe. Your power of the word needs to go on the wind so that it is carried forward. So put it out on the wind. Say it out loud. And I know for some people it feels weird to pray out loud. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Say it out loud anyway. Say it out loud anyway. Exactly. It's on your breath. You're holding your breath in. Let your breath is life. So you're breathing that life into those words by allowing it to exit out of your vessel. Anything that you think about your human body, my practice is practically spiritual. So I'm going to give this to you in a practical aspect. Anything that is trying to escape our body is meant to leave. If you say keep it in your head, it hasn't left your body. You need it out loud. Out loud, out of your vessel. That's why, like when you cry, you're not supposed to hold your tears in. If it's trying to escape your body, it's supposed to leave. So if you have words on your heart that need to be said to the Most High, say them out loud so that they can leave. Indeed. Yes, yes, yes. And I would say you're talking to yourself and not. Yes, speak up on it. Just say it out loud. It's okay. It's okay. Say it out loud. I think sometimes we make it harder than it needs to be because sometimes we're always told, well, it needs to sound like this, sound like that. The words you have, the language you were born, the language you were born with, the words that you have, the Most High didn't accidentally give you your language. The Most High didn't accidentally give you the intonation, the inflection, the word choices that you have when you commonly speak. Simply speak. God knew what God was doing when God gave you your language and how you communicate and how do you express yourself. And what you will find is the more authentically you speak with God is the more authentically the divine speaks to you in a way that you understand. I like music. I like music a lot. And oftentimes if I'm channeling and I'm in a really good space and I'm feeling real good in my channeling, Ashe, I'm so glad. I will often get songs. It'll be a random songs I ain't heard in ages, just random songs as downloads. But when I think about the song or I go look it up and look up the lyrics, I'm like, I see what you did there. Message received. I see what you did there. And I do it in readings for other people. And it will be tailored to that person. So sometimes if I'm working with someone and they look like me, it might be R&B or hip hop, but I might be doing something with somebody else, and it might be pop or rock. Kind of just depends. It might be an old bluesy tune. It just depends. But that's because I have made a relationship with my spiritual team that Ashe, my spiritual team and I have a relationship, and where I am myself full. Like, my spiritual team don't want me to come to them trying to be what I think an Ifa priestess should look like. They want me to come to me as me. They want my magic, my ashe, everything, my rituals, all to feel like me. They're not trying to bless this thing that I'm supposed to be. They're trying to bless me. And that's what you have to remember for yourself. It is not about you trying to be anything else. When you go on this journey, a lot of times you'll see people like, oh, maybe I should look like that, or maybe I should. No, you should be you. That's the whole point. The whole point is to be you. Yes, I am an Aquarius, Sun, Mars, and Mercury. This is where we live. We live in the head. We live here. This is where we live here. Trust me, I understand. Trust me, I understand. It's practice. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not something, and it takes getting to know you. That's why, like in the beginning, when I talked about my mentorship program, Ashe, you are, because you're magic. And if you got a lot of melanin, you a whole lot of magic. Like, you have to allow yourself. Earlier on, when I talked about my life update, I talked about my mentorship program and realizing who I was calling. I'm 44 years old, and facts, you have to find a balance. You have to find a balance. And I said, I'm calling people in my age group. I'm 44 years old. My conscious spiritual awakening happened in 2020. And every mentor I have had at this point is younger than me, because they were on the journey before I was. My ELO is younger than me. I don't care. She understood. She understood. And so for me, it is calling people my age, because I know what it feels like to feel like I'm behind. I don't feel like I'm as far ahead as people way older than me, and I don't feel like I'm as far ahead as people younger than me. So it's this place in the middle where we have to realize we are Gen X, my people, Generation X, my Zennials, coming into a conscious awakening. I promise you, we are right on time. I promise you, if you are the same generation as me and you are just now coming into this walk, you are right on time. Whether ATR is calling you, whether simply the occult is calling you, you are exactly where you are supposed to be in the timeline, exactly where we are supposed to be. We have always been the rebels. So of course we're not going to get it when we're way young, and we're not going to get it when we are getting it exactly when we are prepared to. We have had the life experience. We have lived through all these things so that we can do that today. We can do that today. Do not let anyone tell you that you're too far. And this is about you building your own relationship with the Most High. If you are someone, for me, facts, always. And that's why so many of us are like, so many of us I hear saying they don't want to go to ATR because they feel like it's just another form of dogma. And it's not with the right elder, not with the right connection, and not with you doing the self-love work first. So you can't come to me as a mentee and expect me to teach you how to invoke this, invoke that. No, I'm trying to invoke you. I'm trying to invoke you. The first thing we do in my course is self-love work. I'm going to teach you how to pull your birth chart. I'm going to teach you how to do your numerology chart so that you can learn who you are. You have to have an insatiable desire to get to know yourself, like a romantic relationship. When you are in love with somebody, when you love them, when you really love them, you thirst for knowledge about that person. It has to be the same with yourself. You have to have a thirst for knowledge about yourself. I am constantly always learning something new about me. I am constantly learning something new about me. And why? It's because we are emanations, reflections, extensions of the source. And you can't know the totality of source. You will always learn something new about your relationship with God. Thus, you will always learn something new about your relationship with yourself. And this is not about going on a journey to heal, because you ain't broken. You just lack illumination. You are simply trying to refine the light that is within you and allow yourself to shine that light thoroughly, brightly, so that you can see yourself. It is so that you can see who you are and the truth of who you are supposed to be. It is not about you looking for ways to add more band-aids to your body. Take them band-aids off, because you're not broken. That is an illusion. You simply are trying to illuminate who you are. And when you are fully in the space of illuminating who you are, not fully illuminated, just in actively illuminating who you are, when you go to whatever tradition, you will attract the right elders. You will attract the right teachers. I attracted an elder who had an elay of nothing but womb holders. Nothing but womb holders. Why? Because I'm trying to come into my divine feminine. So I needed to be surrounded by womb holders of power, of strength, of varying personalities, of varying journeys, and understanding how we are aligned together. I needed an Iolode who was authentic in her journey. I needed an Iolode who was authentic in her journey, who wasn't going to tell me that if I don't do this, oh, I'm going to have a horrible life. What she told me in my very first divination was, so yeah, you're going to initiate, and I don't know how to tell you this, but you're going to be a priest. And when she said it, I had already been doing work honoring my Ori. I already knew that when I got an intuitive yes, what it felt like in my physical body. So when she said it, I got a yes. See, this is the thing. Like, I talked to someone, I did divination for someone the other day, and he said he didn't feel like he had the right elder. That's because he didn't do the self-work first. He went to outside himself first. You have to start with you. Then when it's time for that elder to manifest, it will manifest in such a way where it'll so be easy, so aligned. She was given to me as a gift in the very literal sense. My cousin gifted me a divination session with her. Gifted it to me. My cousin shared her radio show with me, and that's how I got to know her. And I was in love, enamored then. I'm like, oh my God, I just want to have like 5-minute conversation. She is amazing. I love the way she teaches. I love the way everything about it. I just wanted to have a 5-minute discussion. So my cousin booked me a divination and gave it to me as a birthday gift. My elder was given to me. I didn't have to hunt her down. I didn't have to do anything other than be open to receive when it was time for her to manifest. My first elder was not Ifa. She was meant to teach me how to tap into my spiritual gifts and cultivate my own spiritual practice. That way, when I got to Ifa, when I incorporated Ifa into my life, it allowed me to have a relationship with Ifa, with Orisha, with the Iyami that is authentic to me. It is honoring my roots and my tradition, honoring the fact that I have been a Yoruba priestess in lifetimes. I'm just remembering in this life. I'm simply just remembering that which was already known in my being in past lives. That's what's important. Everybody wants to go and find their head. I don't practice Lukumi Santeria, so don't ask me who my head Orisha is. I tell you who I'm crowned now being the optimal word, but my Ori is my head, period. My Ori is my head Orisha. Ain't nobody fighting for supremacy in I'm the sovereign. They simply manifest through me the way they need to, depending on what's going on. When I traveled to visit my god sibling, I needed to make sure I had a good sense of direction. So Josie was there sitting with me, helping me drive my car because I have a phenomenal sense of direction. Understanding the courage that I need to do this, knowing most of my life I have spent with an aversion to speaking in front of people, knowing that I've had an aversion to being in front of people because I have a lisp and because I have a gap, and that made me really self-conscious as a kid. So I didn't want to stand up in the middle of class. I have to do this. Miles told me I was a king, but I was like, what are you talking about? But not just him. That means, because you are. You can be a king, an emperor. You are. You're a king. Period. You're like, okay, like you are. You're a king. You're a king. I'll take that as a compliment. I'll take it as a compliment. Hold on. Alton. So you asked about an altar. I'm gonna give you basics. Altar basics. Basics of an altar. The altar is a focal point. And what it also is a focal point of nature. It's a focal point of nature. Thus, the elements of nature are the standard. Here comes my child. That means I'm almost done. Are the standards that you put on your altar. So earth, air, fire, water, spirit should be reflective. What you looking for? Oh. Why don't you go to use the bathroom? Okay. Anybody want to talk to you? And then I did it again. I'm sorry. I'm like we still working on growing out of that. We're still working on growing out of that. But have something that is earth. Have something earth on your altar. So that could be a plant, crystals, whatever. Have something earth. Have something water. Water is easy. A glass of water. Fire, candle, flame, something. Air is a little more cryptic. Feathers are often a symbol of air, and incense is a symbol of air. So something that represents bells are also a symbol of air. Cloth, can't go wrong with white cloth. Can't go wrong with white cloth. And that's in spirit, whatever resonates with you as spirit. So this may be a symbol of some sort that resonates with you for spirit, some sort of symbol on there. It's also optional. That's the basics. Like that, hands down, that is basic. And then you. And if you can, for people who are not in a space where they can have a set altar, understand when I very first started my journey, I did not have a set altar. I had a broken end table with the top from a broken desk. That'll work. Go ahead and put your questions in now. I'm going to sign off in a couple of minutes because my son, he's sitting here looking at me and I'm looking at him and we're looking at each other. But I got a couple of minutes, so go ahead and drop them now. But if you don't have a physical place that you can keep it steady, just make a travel altar. I had a little wooden box. I put all my little things in it. And when I was ready to set it up, I had a little white cloth in it. I just set it up. And then I was done. I put it away. And guess what? They were always there. And at the end of the day, if nothing else, you are an altar. Wherever I am, there is always an altar. Ashe, yes. My altar room now is in its maybe 6th version. This is like the 6th version of my altar room. It's the most long standing though, but it is the 6th version of my altar room. And each altar has kind of like, it's settled at this point, but like I just painted, I found somebody that made little wooden double-sided axes. So I painted one for Shango and put it on my altar for Shango because that's what I felt called to do. Honoring your intuition. If you get this niggling, it's like, I I got to put this on here. Follow your intuition. Exactly. And you'll find that's how it'll manifest. And you'll find it'll manifest just like that. It'll manifest just like that. I have like, oh my gosh, I move my altar so many times. Locations will change, all those things, because sometimes you just need to move the energy. There may be nothing wrong. The energy itself needs to be relocated and shifted. The altar in my room, like that's just my altar. That's me. That's my space. And even that will shift and change. I'm like, I need to add this, I need to add that, take that away. Do not also let your intuition guide you, because sometimes you'll go and be looking on the videos and the tubes and see all these people with these elaborate altars, and you will diminish yourself because you feel like your altar is not as flamboyant. Unless your spirit called you to add it to your altar, grand rising, to your altar, you don't have to have it. You do not have to have it. You don't have to have it. The same thing goes with your offerings, though. Like, your offerings are supposed to put you in the poorhouse. Your offerings are not supposed to make you broke. I got called to make a tuna fish sandwich as an offering. A tuna fish sandwich. Ashe, indeed. And what I will say is, make sure, for those of you who are working with divinities and ancestors, make sure your divinity altar and your ancestor altar is separate. I would say if you are someone who does work, make that one separate as well. But definitely, like, your ancestors need their own space. Your divinities need their own space. Even if like all you have is like, okay, I only have enough room to have like 2 altars. Well, cool. This is ancestors. This is the divinities, and leave it like that, because that's what mine was for the longest. So honoring it in that way and allow it to unfold. They'll help you with creating the space. They know where you live. They know what's in your bank account. Like, sometimes we act like spirit don't know. They can't see. They know what your account balance is. They're not going to ask you to drop like $300-400 of the offering when they know that all you got is $5. That is just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Also, understanding your offerings are not always tangible. Sometimes something like this is an offering. Sometimes you had this project idea in your head for ages, and they're like, do it. So for me, what I would do is say a prayer. Give honor. It's about the honoring. It's not like, boop, I'll throw this in the trash. But I'm like, I say thank you. Thank you for the time that you spent on my altar. Thank you for, the energy exchange. Thank you. And then I throw it away. Why? Because they know. We sometimes attach too much humanity to our divine spiritual team, as if they don't see from a higher perspective. They know you live in an apartment. Just say thank you. Just say thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the time you spent on my altar. Because even with me not living in an apartment, there are days where it's storming and things like that carrying on. I can't always take it outside. The mothers are not trying to have me catch a cold. So I do what I have to do. I put it in the trash. Put it in the trash. And I have so much candy. So much candy. If you know who it's for, I got so much candy. My kids help me get rid of candy. They'll go in there every once in a while, and I'm just like, oh, kids been in here. Some candy wrapper on the floor. I wish they take the candy wrapper with them, but whatever. Just take it. Just take it. As long as you're honoring it and say, I appreciate the time. Like, for me, that's it. It's all about the respect. Like, thanks so much. You're not just simply trash. I appreciate you doing what you had to do, and the energy exchange for going on my altar. And I leave it like that. What other questions y'all got? I think I got a hot 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, okay. I got a nod. Yeah, I got a hot 10, 15 minutes for questions. And thank you for not talking about the fact that it's evident I'm doing something with my locks, and they are doing everything. They are doing the absolute most. The absolute most right now. Well, it's 10 of y'all. Hi. Oh, and I got people on the YouTubies and Facebook side. Hello, YouTubies and Facebook. So I would say that's probably accurate. That's probably accurate in terms of the dragons. Uh, Ashe. If you don't see, I got a website link in my bio, but if you look on my calendar and it's like, I don't see a time that works, inbox me. I'm a single mom, so my calendar is built around my kid's schedule, but I'm flexible as well since I'm working for myself. So just inbox me like, hey, do you have any time on such and such a day? I can make it work. I just need a heads up so I can get somebody to like run interference while I'm working. Ashe. Um, yeah. So but dragon question, I would say yes, but I wouldn't like, yeah, I'm gonna jump into work with dragons. Like, ask your Ori to guide you into what that needs to look like. It might just simply be you need something that's a dragon sitting around, and that's enough. I have a strong connection to dragon lineage, but all I have, I'm just open to how they manifest. They're elemental beings. So it might just mean you need to tap into the elements and see what that needs to look like. But yeah, I have dragon stuff around. I've always had a love of dragons, like always had a love of dragons because they're the elements. They're like literally the divine in this really magical and ethereal way. They're magic. Ashe, then that's how you tap in. Allow yourself to guide you. Hello, Jaheem. Allow yourself to guide you in how that's going to manifest for you. Bubbles in the water, it's a good sign. It's just like let's talk about bubbles in the water. Practically spiritual practice. Scientifically speaking, you should have bubbles in your water if your place is warm because it's warm and that's what happens to the water. Some people will say that spirit is close, but the lack of bubbles does not indicate that spirit is not in your room. Trust me, most of my glasses in my altar room, because my altar room actually stays cool, don't have bubbles in them. They don't have bubbles in them because it's cold in the room. The lack of bubbles does not mean a lack of spirit, because anyone that has ever been allowed to walk in there will tell you it's full. It's full. It just simply means it's cold in the room. I don't get bubbles. That's not the sign that I get. That's not a sign I get in my water. So for you, if you have set an intention that seeing, hello, Jaheem. Nobody wants to see your hands, son. Thanks. But if you see bubbles and bubbles make you feel like, okay, spirit is close, yes. If I have candles going, like how the candle flame looks, I pay attention to that, all of those things. So you determine what your signs and your symbols are. It's not God say, I'm only going to send you this sign. This is where that self-love work and having that relationship with yourself, you know what signs will resonate with you. I'm an Aquarius, so I'm very much intellectual. So I get really intellectual signs. I have ability to see patterns. So that's why angel numbers will resonate with me, but I don't simply see repeating numbers as angel numbers. So yeah, 222, 333, those things will be something that sticks out to me, but my angel numbers don't always come that way. My life path number is 11, but I'm a 3811. So because I'm a 3811, that will stick out to me more so than seeing 222. If I see 3811, 8311, something of that nature, then that is what will jump out and get my attention because it is my life path. 1111, people say make a wish. 1111, I think Ejiope. I see alignment. I see open roads. I see it on the right path. So it just depends. You have to build that relation. White and black candles are always good. Black candles repel. Keep it away. So you may do a black candle initially, like let's say you're just trying to like do something that's a basic. So black candle, prayer over the candle, whatever prayers resonate with you. For those of you who grew up in the Abrahamic faith, Psalms 23 and 91, holding the candle, your ashe in your hands. Whether you're a Reiki master or not, you can do this. visualize the energy going into hands, going into your hands as you hold your candle. Speak prayer over your candle. Set the intention. It's a black candle. Repel, reject, bounce away anything that is not of my highest and greatest good. I give thanks and gratitude. Light your candle. Light your candle and let it burn. If at all possible, don't blow it, snuff it out. Don't blow it. Somebody from Missouri just hit my website. Don't blow it, snuff it out. If you have to put it out, candle safety first. Don't come inbox me. I left my candle in the house burnt. No, candle safety first. First, be wise with your candle work. After you do the black candle, then do white candle for maintenance. White candles will protect. Exactly. So white candle will then also protect, clear, raising the vibration. So you can easily then follow that up with a white candle and just keep white candles lit all the time. I don't have any right now, but I keep white candles physically in my house all the time. Whether they're lit or not, there are white candles in my house all the time. If you're somebody that likes to work with crystals, you can ward your house with crystals. Put them at all your entryways. If nothing else but you, your word, and your imagination, sitting on the floor in the center of your house and invoking the fact that you are the sovereign of this domicile. Imagine what protection looks like around your home. Give thanks to them for standing guard and fortifying your place. Give thanks for them protecting all of the people, places, and things that dwell within. Sometimes that's all you need. Visualizing white light shielding your home. This is good for shadow work too. When I was first doing white light protection, I would visualize myself dressed in white and myself dressed in black, standing in my front yard holding hands, my light and my shadow. We do this work together, the right hand and the left hand. We do this work together. And we would see the light coming from heaven, and then we would focus it onto my house. It's a great way to bond with your shadow. You still got 8 minutes. Let's go. Let's go. I'm having fun. Yay. Yo, like real talk. Can y'all tap the screen? I know y'all been like really paying attention, and I love that y'all been really engaged in conversation. Can you tap the screen? Can you get us some likes? We've had entirely too much engagement. I need some likes. Thank you. I love you. Mean it. I'm like, can we tap and get us to some likes? I got like a good, 7-8 minutes left for questions. And then I have to put clothing on my small peoples so that we can go and exit our domicile. While y'all are thinking of questions, I will just recap my beginning for those that, just joined, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to recap the Odoo. Y'all got to watch that on YouTube. That was a lot. Y'all can watch the Odoo on YouTube, but just recapping. I will be doing some self-paced numerology courses classes while I record them, and you can just enroll and do it self-study. Do it that way. Because after this month, I will not be offering numerology readings, but while I still have them, you can. Bruh, use your powers for good. I'm going to need you to use your powers for good. When he tells you to. If you are doing prayers and things like that, that's always a good time to light your candle. It invites it there. Have you been crowned already, or you just know that he's one of your Orisha? Lisa, ew. Oh. You just know. So allow him to guide you. But if you're like saying prayers or you just want to give thanks or give an offering, light a candle then. Receive blessings unto you as well. Just allow him to guide you in that way about the candle. And make sure if you're doing candles, if you're doing either one white, one red, or one that's half white, half red, you just want to make sure it's balanced. Just keep the energy balanced. Just keep it balanced. But you can light it in the mornings when you're saying your prayers, if you're doing any prayers to him, or you could just give it as offering, like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna, give an offering to Shango. I'm gonna light some candles. So just allow it to guide you. That relationship will happen naturally because all of us have all the Orisha. They manifest through us individually differently. So whereas I don't always have to have candles lit, you may need to have candles lit all the time. Just let it guide you. Really, Kool-Aid? Really? So I'm going to give you both practical. One could be the wick. But two, it depends on what you were thinking, feeling, your energy when you lit the candle. So I always light my candles, always cleanse my candles before I light them. Always. I am not wearing this out today. Always light the candles before I light them. Cleanse the candles before I light them. And then it depends on if it, shoots up really strong and then if it's steady. So a steady flame means I had that my ashe, it's a reflection of you. So as much as it is a reflection of spirit. So my ashe is steady, it's aligned, but it's powerful. So it'll be a big flame, but it might not necessarily be flickering. It doesn't mean that spirit's not around. It means that whatever my intention was in that moment for that candle is aligned, steady, constant. It's unwavering. Some candles will dance. If I'm sitting in the room, sitting on Reiki, not necessarily. That might mean there may be some immediate work. If it flickers, it's okay. Hello. If it flickers, then it could just mean that spirit's close. That's all. It just means spirit's close. If there's no air or anything going on, things like that, everything's steady, it means spirit is close by. It simply means that spirit is close by. So just pay attention to, it depends on the type of candle you have too. So if you have a 7-day candle enclosed in glass, then you also need to pay attention to how it burned. Was it a clean burn, meaning there's not a whole lot of wax left over? Is there any soot? And what color is the soot? If there's black soot, there might have been some work being done at the beginning. If it's white soot, that means there's high vibrational energy around that was doing that work with you. So it really just depends. As you work with your candles more, you will learn how your candle is talking to you. So those are just general. It's just like anything else. You have to see how it's talking to you. And you can also say, hey, you know what? This is what I would like my candle to do when everything's working out well. Some things are standard. Like if you see black soot, you know that something's being cleared. They're working to clear something. And if it's all the way down, it's one thing. If it's like, it's black at the top and then it like clears up at the bottom, that means it had to clear some stuff, but it cleared up at the bottom. I would probably still light another white candle just to follow it up, but chances are you're good. But if it's soot, all black soot all the way down, this isn't one of those things where the candle wick's leaning and is burning the glass, definitely burn another white candle, because that means it's trying to clear something and you need to do it again. That means you need to do it again. Do it again. Okay, I got a couple more questions. I got time for at least maybe 1 or 2 more. Black soot clearing. I don't want to say black soot bad. I will say black soot, there's still more work that needs to be done. White soot, yeah, we're all good here. Well, black soot means, well, we're trying to get some work done. That also could depend on the candle. So I would burn another one, but it could mean that the intention either wasn't aligned or wasn't set strongly. So you may have set an intention for, I want some money, and Spirit's like, well, how much? You didn't set a strong enough intention. So I would do the work again in that regard. But it could also mean that it's a cheap candle and it just sucked at burning. It could easily mean that. So allow yourself to be like guided. A lot of times what I will do, did I go 90 minutes? I guess I'll take a break. I am. But a lot of times what I'll do sometimes early on is I would do divination. Like I do a candle working and then I would do divination afterwards to see how it, what the outcome was. Because sometimes, you're learning how to read your candles. And I was still learning. So I do divination. So if you're doing candle work and you also do work with tarot cards, pull a card. Thank you. Dude, okay, let me tell y'all how my internet must have been slow, because how did it just go from 0 to 2.5K likes? I don't know. Oh, what is divination? So divination is the ability to get information or clarity on a subject through means that is not through like talking to somebody. The Dollar Tree candles, just expect the wax. I'd be real excited when they burn clean. Expect the wax. Don't think that's anything with it's a Dollar Tree candle. Expect the wax. Expect the wax. Like, yeah, it's a Dollar Tree candle. That's why I say some things you have to have both a practicality to your spiritual practice. It's $1.25 candle. It ain't gonna burn like one of them $7-day candles. It's just not gonna burn the same way. It's just not. But divination is just a way for you to get information from the divine. That's literally what it means. The means of divination varies. You could do bibliomancy. People who, especially if you were someone who's raised Christian, I was not, but most people who are raised Christian will just open your Bible, whatever page you go to, what should give you the answer. That's bibliomancy, period. Getting an answer from a book where you like hold the book, ask a question, open a page, bibliomancy. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. You get more and more proficient at it, but anybody can do bibliomancy. Just like God, it's just whatever the page is and wherever your eyes land. No, Alton. No, you do not. No. No. If you are like early in my ancestral veneration practice, I wanted to understand how my ancestors were communicating with me. And I used something simple. I used flashcards. I got some like when I mean literally flashcards, some ABC flashcards, and I wrote different things on the flashcards. And then I treated them like oracle cards. Shuffle up. Ancestor, can I get a first letter of a name? Boom. Okay, cool. And I would shuffle the flashcards. I used them quite effectively. If I'm trying to figure out what the offering needs to be, I have a deck of flashcards. All the cards have a different type of thing that are common to give as offerings for different energies. What does so-and-so want? Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Boop. Cool. That's the offering. If you can get an answer from anyone, anything that is spirit, you do divination. If you get an answer from any form of spirit, any energy that is not you sitting on the phone, hey, homie, blah, 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 you are doing divination. Every time, every single time. Anytime you get an answer and it did not come from the physical mouth of somebody else, and even then sometimes it's divination, you are doing divination every single time. Every single time, whether you're using... Yes, you're doing that as divination. And it's absolutely... Like that is absolutely doing divination. That's always. And we all do it all the time. You sit there and like, Lord, I'm struggling. Maybe this next song will give me an answer. You put your playlist on random. Song comes on and you're like, dang, that was right on time. Divination. Jaheem. Thank you. That's divination. That is absolutely divination. Just because it's not a card, and a Pele, Ikin, I Ching coins, or anything like that, you can do divination, you and anything.
A computer and tablet.
Oh, that's cartomancy. I don't do cartomancy yet. I want to learn it, but I'm a divination nerd. I know currently counting, hold on, that's 4, tarot, oracle, I Ching, numerology, astrology, bibliomancy. 10 different forms of divination currently. It's because I'm an Aquarius and I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd, and I get drawn to divination types that I probably connected to in previous lives. So cartomancy keeps calling me. So when you say necro, what I would say is be mindful of what you're doing. If you are, because you're not supposed to be raising the unalived. You can commune with your ancestors, but even then you have to know what they're saying. So unless you are a skilled medium or oracle, you still might need something to help you understand the message that you're getting. And that's what divination helps with. I didn't think you were a bad person. I did not think you were a bad person at all. But no, I would say just be mindful of what you work with, and the way that you work with it. So like with your ancestors, you could simply just say, you know what? I'm talking to them. You're not trying to raise them. They're going to stay in the spiritual realm. But you're talking to them. No, you're fine. I did have a teenager reaction like, bruh, how did we get there? How did we get to this place? I did have a teenager reaction because there's at least 3 teenagers living in me. Yeah. Like, so yeah, I did have that teenage reaction. Bruh, we went left. We went all the way left. All the way. This is not where we were. We're not in this place. Okay, so it's after 12:30 my time. First off, I just want to say thank y'all because, like, real talk, I have a lot of fun doing lives with y'all. I like to teach. I thoroughly enjoy teaching. I like to share information. I like talking about God. My spiritual practice is fun for me. It's not a solemn occasion. I always have fun in my spiritual practice. My spiritual practice has allowed the little girl in me to live out her wildest dreams. Little girl me wanted to be a powerful witch, and she wanted to be a teacher and a doctor. And now I get to teach. I am magical and a healer. Like, I get to do all the things my childhood self wanted to be. And, hey, you're not the only one that has it happen. You're not the only one that has it happen. You just have to be mindful of it. That's cool. I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate the shares. This is safe space. No judgment zone. No judgment zone. Unless you're a Falcons fan, then I will judge you proficiently. If you're a Falcons fan, I will judge you. Depending on who your top 5 rappers of all time are, I might judge you then too. But in the grander scheme of things, this is a safe and sacred space, and there will never be any judgment. What you do in your practice is what you do. All I ask is always be mindful, always have discernment, and always make sure that if you are new in your walk, have a I'm okay with I have Falcons. Those Falcons I'm cool with. The other ones are not okay. They're not okay. Nope. That's an unhealthy relationship. And yeah, no. And I'm a Saints fan, and I just could never. But yeah, I had a really good time going live with y'all. I think I know who that is. Hold on. Jay, give me a second. I had a really good time with y'all, and I just wanted to know that I appreciate your time. I appreciate all the likes. If anyone feels like they need to have questions, I have openings today for E5 divination. I have 2 spots available today. I actually have 2 spots available every day this week for E5 divination. I have 3 spots available for tarot readings. My course mentorship program from Self to Source with E5 is still enrolling. It's only $125 a month. You could pay that monthly, weekly, bi-weekly. Just talk to me if you need something other than monthly. And otherwise, thanks so much. Once again, I am Ianifa Dania Faomi Shango, and I am an Ifa priestess and spiritual awakening doula for the African American diaspora. And my mission is to help you get more connected with your divine self, especially my Gen Xers. I got you. I got you. Ashe. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Y'all have a beautiful day. Have a great, great Tuesday. Happy Mars Day. And y'all have a good one. Bye. Where is it? There it is. And there we go.